What's good, y'all, and welcome to another video. In this one we'll be having a look at Lady Alexandra, our potentially next free hero, free as in obtainable outside of summons. Now, how free is she actually? How do you get her? What can she do? That is what we'll be tackling in this video, and also we'll be doing any testing necessary to figure out her kit and get an initial grasp on her performance. Furthermore, did you know that on the 7xxx servers, so the Asia, I think it's the Asia servers, they already have our update, they already have everything, and instead of what we are getting, they're getting AMR 19 to 22 on the 9th, so it at least looks like they do still intend to give us all our stuff as promised. But let's get into the hero.
Begins.
Alright, yeah, so here we are in the Apex Arena shop. This is the shop and part of Arena we'll be getting in a future update, which includes exclusive artifacts, ancients, divines, an Apex crystal chest, which gives you a random amount of rewards. Let's see, let's open one just for fun. 5 legendary shards, the possibility to buy Lady Alexandra, and then even the possibility to buy her awakenings. Now, obviously you're wondering, how the fuck do we even buy these, right? How the hell do we even get our hands on Apex coins? Now, it all lies in Arena and has to do with the Apex Arena. And what I spent yesterday is, number one, doing 200 fights to actually get myself into Apex Overlord on the test server, and then a bit of time and a bit of math to figure out what you exactly need to get her. So, overall, there is 2 types of rewards. Number 1 is ranking reward, and number 2, there's a reward for winning a fight. The ranking rewards are as follows. If you hit Platinum 3, you get 200 coins, Overlord nets you 400, and Apex Overlord nets you 1500 per week. The next thing is in Overlord Arena, you're getting 10 coins per win. And in Apex Overlord, you're getting 35 coins per win. All of these values are obviously subject to change, but they haven't been changed yet. Now that we have all the values, let's have a look at a bit of math. Alright, let's just go through this real quick. If anybody wants to study this a bit further, you can pause it. But basically, we are assuming that you'll be able to do 12 fights per day, which is 5 when you just log into the game, 2 for playing for 90 minutes, and then an additional 5 for being online for 10 hours or just logging in after 10 hours again when the 5 fights refreshed again. So 12 fights, and then we assume that every 3 days you're going to get a visitor to your camp that then proceeds to give you 5 arena fights and then like a bunch of stamina. So those are the things we're going with, and then we have this calculation. You can have a look at the steps in between, but overall if you finish every week in Overlord, you would get 1600 points per month, as well as a total of 20 times 120 points and 10 times 170 points per month, giving you a grand total of 5700 points per month, or overall 7 months until you're able to buy Lady Alexandra in the shop. And then lastly, we have reaching Apex Overlord for a month and winning your battles in Apex Overlord gives you a grand total of 20,350 points, which means overall, if you manage to finish in Apex Overlord 4 times a month for 2 months, so overall 8 rankings in Apex Overlord while winning your fights in Apex Overlord without considering buying any fights, that is how you're actually able to get her. Furthermore, also if you are curious about the cost to buy entries, you have 50 fight cost of 2,300 gems. Here you have kind of like the cost. Your first 5 fights or 50 coins in Overlord, or 175 points in Apex Overlord are 50 gems, 100 gems, 150, 200, 200, 200, 400, whatever. If you want to study this, you can study this, but yeah, keep in mind 7 months if you hit Overlord, 2 months if you hit Apex Overlord, and if you just get the Platinum 3 rewards, it takes you about 200 per month. 10 months is 2000, 100 months is 20, so 200 months or basically close to 15 years if you never get any Apex coins outside of Platinum 3. Nice! So now that we figured out how much effort it takes to get her, let's figure out if she's worth the effort. So, overall we have Lady Alexandra with a normal marksman range, 4200 attack, which is decent for a legendary marksman. Let's have a look at A5 Silas. Silas has 3700, so she's about 500 attack higher than Silas, which is pretty darn high for a legendary marksman if we're honest. Let's have a look at Nyx. Nyx has 4000, so she has even more attack than a Nyx. We have 1000 defense, which is rather low, 1000 magic resistance, which is also rather low, but pretty much standard values for your average marksman. We have an attack interval of 2 seconds, which is about as standard as it gets. And then we have 14 rage auto, 11 rage per second, and 6 attack. This one comes from collection bonus, the basic attack +1. Okay, skills. Talent. A basic attack has a 45% chance to, instead of being a basic attack, release piercing precision. Piercing Precision rapidly attacks 2 enemies in range 1 time respectively with 2 weapons, each dealing 180% damage, and will be reduced to 120% when there's only 1 enemy in range. So either 360% damage split on 2 enemies or 240% damage focused on 1 enemy. Okay. What is the normal basic attack? The normal basic attack is deals 120% damage to 1 target 1 time, which means you can double the damage against a single target with 45% chance, or increase the damage by 50% and then do that twice to 2 targets with a 45% chance. Next up we have Chasing Shadow. If there are enemies inflicted with the Mark of Enmity reduces the damage dealt to the caster by 50% and increases the damage received from the caster by 25%. So basically they do less damage to her and take more damage from her. The hero's basic attack and piercing precision, the one released through her talent, can land an extra hit regardless of the attack range. Each weapon used deals 160% damage 1 time to all enemies inflicted with Mark of Enmity. Okay, the extra hits can be triggered even when there's no enemy in basic attack range. So she can basically global attack. We just still have to figure out what that Mark of Enmity is. Next up, Penetrating Vision, 30-second cooldown. Oh yeah, her cost. What's her cost? 18, which is rather chunky. It is rather chunky. Penetrating Vision periodically inflicts Mark of Enmity on the farthest enemy on the battlefield. During this period, the hero's attack ignores 50% defense lasting 6 seconds. When Piercing Precision is triggered, reduces the cooldown by 2 seconds. So she inflicts Mark of the Enmity, which lasts for 6 seconds. It has a cooldown of 30 seconds, and every time Piercing Precision is triggered, it reduces it by 2. And during this period, she ignores 50% defense, so like a Silas piercing shot, but not his ultimate, because his ultimate is actually 100% penetration. Arena gives her a 15% damage increase, and now for the ultimate, she inflicts Marks of Enmity with her ultimate on the enemy with the highest current HP in her range. Okay. Piercing Precision is guaranteed to trigger during the ultimate, which means we have 15 seconds of guaranteed double hits. Okay, so far so good. That is her whole kit. Let's have a look at her awakening. A1. Chasing Shadow deals 20% extra damage to targets inflicted with Radiant Erosion, and if it does, it removes a stack of Radiant Erosion. Chasing Shadow being the ability to hit a target even outside of her normal range. Okay. A2, attack plus 300. A3, if an enemy dies with Mark of Enmity, the hero restores 35% rage. This effect can be triggered once every 20 seconds. A4 range region attack +2 and A5 when piercing precision deals damage to different targets, increases damage rate to each target to 240% from the initial 180%. Overall doesn't really sound all that overwhelming if I gotta be honest, but let's have a look what she's all about. As usual, before I forget about it, feel free to leave a like, consider subscribing, leave a comment. And if you really have way too much money, you could also become a member. Peace out. Alright, so here we have the first real test, which is Silas versus Lady Alex in the same scenario with the same gear. And it already gives us our second test, or something to think about. We need to figure out how the hell she is keeping up with the Silas that is bonded. Both obviously at A0, and if you were wondering why I let it count even though the ultimate of Silas was way longer, it's because Silas' ultimate is 20 seconds and hers is only 15. So let's figure out why she does so much damage. Right here she does one normal hit, then 2 hits if it triggers piercing precision, pretty straightforward. Then she inflicts her mark of enmity, depending on the enemy range with her passive, and during that time, so right about now, she starts also ignoring 50% defense. Overall, every time she does an attack, there's also a second attack fired. The single attack does 120% damage and the other extra attack does 160%. Now in her ultimate, piercing precision is guaranteed to trigger, so she'll at minimum shoot 2 attacks, and then she's also going to get the 2 extra damage attacks. So in her ultimate she has 15 seconds of mark of enmity, so 25% more damage. She's also guaranteed to shoot 4 shots. 2 of these shots deal 120% damage and the other 2 deal 160% damage. Overall, all of these shots are also influenced by her 50% defense down, which isn't quite clearly stated. So 15 seconds of 50% defense down with 4 shots at 120, 160% damage. As usual, big full testing when we finally get any news in regards to her being like added to the game and or even realistically available, because keep in mind, even if you get Apex Overlord, it takes you 2 months. Though, once more, we'll end it on a spicy test, and in this one we'll be tackling Nightmare 4, just her and Silas in a normal rage region comp. And yeah, they'll be going head to head, and how head to head they'll be going is they have the same artifact and basically the same set. Now how similar is the set? The set is this similar. It's basically the same thing, right? The only difference is that Alex has 38 attack more and 2% crit damage more, and in exchange Silas has 4 more attack speed, right? Like if the difference, if they're close, they're close. If the difference is big, the stats didn't make the difference. Alright, I don't know what to expect, but at least I hope we can break the shield. Let's see what happens. So we have a standard comp and we have nobody else in. So we just have a clear they versus themselves. We also don't have anyone in where it gives like a range increase. So we don't have like an Araka in here. And we'll also not be using a Volker. Because with the Volker, it could be that someone's ult is ready at a certain time, and that then gives them an advantage. So interestingly enough, her ultimate is faster than Silas's, so I guess that's something noteworthy. And here we trigger both ults. Pull Laurel fast over time, and yeah, let's see what happens. Holy shit. I didn't really expect her ultimate to be ready this fast again. But it mainly had to do with Laurel really. So Laurel goes in. You could say there was a bit of a wastage from Laurel there on her because we lost around 25%. but also her ultimate will be ending sooner, so she'll at least be able to resource some extra rage, which overall should balance it out again. Now at this point, if you want to, you can write me in the comments who you think is actually in the lead currently, because I do not know. I do not know who is in the lead at the moment. I don't know, I would put my money on Sandra, because she, not Sandra, Lady Alex, or just Alex for short, because she's attacking more. But I guess it's hard to say. And here, this is going to be like the interesting part. Will we even be able to break the third shield? I sure hope we are. Though unless we end up unlucky with like our ultimates not ready, I don't think it should be too much of an issue really. So right here. And then once more. Activate the ultimate, fast forward. Like the best thing about her I kind of see is she's either a replacement for your Silas or for your Hex. Like obviously it depends a bit on the results we're going to get here, but I would see her as like a replacement for your guild boss team for either a Hex or a Silas, because unless you have both, you aren't really able to properly run a Piercer comp at the moment. So this should be about it. Yeah, we basically just saved the ultimates for the shield, just to see if we even have a chance. If we do fail breaking the shield, that would be unfortunate, to say the least. But I guess we would just have to accept it. Because we would still get like kind of the same damage result. And as you can see, we were barely able to break the shield, which is obviously really, really nice. Which means we'll be getting the full run experience. It was closer than I thought though. It was for sure closer than I thought. Alright, and then Laurel in, Laurel out. There isn't really a point to saving ultimates or anything anymore. And here we can fast forward time for the last stretch. We will be closing in on around 25,000 blood just with them alone. And then you would have around 3/4 ground units to make up the rest of the 25,000 if you're looking to get that 50k. So yeah. Ooh, who won? And also, how close was it? Damn, it's basically the same thing. Damn, so she's a bonded Silas. She's actually a bonded Silas. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to upload the auto fight and see if we can replicate the auto fight with both at A5. Alright, so side to side 106k BP and 101,000 BP in the same gear sets as before. Now let's compare the ultimate, the awakenings once more. Chasing Shadow deals 20% extra damage with Radiant Erosion, so that's not gonna make a difference for this one. The extra attack should be the same on both. If an enemy dies with Mark of the Enmity, so that should make a difference. So the only thing she really gets is Rage Region +2, because when Piercing Precision deals damage to different targets, increases damage dealt to each target to 240%. She's not gonna attack different targets. Silas on the other hand, he's gonna get 100 attack speed. He's going to get the same amount of attack. When there are more than 2 marksmen on the field, sadly it doesn't say 2 or more, so I don't think this triggers with him getting 15% and the marksman getting 50%, so the A3 doesn't make a difference. They both get A4 Rage Region +2, and with the A5 Mark of Eye of Curse will increase physical damage to the target by 15%. The number outcomes should actually be pretty similar. Like, I think this is probably going to be more of a pointless test, because both awakenings, like 3 out of 4 awakenings don't really work here. But I guess we'll still check it out, see how the increased base stats change things. And I guess the ultimate timings would also be slightly different. But overall, I'm just curious about like the raw numbers, and if in general she's able to keep up with him. Because nothing says that she wouldn't just be able to just work in a team alongside him. Like for example, if you just run her in a team with him, he could give his A3 to her, she can benefit from his A5, and I guess Silas A1 is, and at the end of the day, indeed a bit more selfish. Also, I really like the fact that she really heals like a machine gun if you were to place a Volker on the field, because every single of her attacks counts as a basic attack, which means in her ultimate she heals for 8% of her max HP per attack burst. And interestingly enough, we actually failed to deal with this shield. And if you're curious about the reason why Lady Alexandra survived, that's because of the Mark of Enmity and the fact that she took 50% less damage. So overall, with her surviving longer, I would probably say they would still be similar in damage if Silas not just a bit ahead, but mainly because of the A1, because she can indeed at the end of the day benefit from his A5 as well as his A3. So this concludes the Lady Alexandra showcase / initiative. Alright, now that we figured out how she works, where to get her, even ran her against an A5 Silas. Ooh, what's the conclusion? Overall, she's very strong. Basically, if you do not have a bonded Silas, she is a must work towards, because you're basically getting a bonded Silas for free. And also, in comparison to a bonded Silas who is all about just single target damage, she still has the ability to, without really losing out on too much damage, attack 2 enemies at the same time. And also she can do something that a Silas could never, which is just randomly attack the farthest enemy on the map for 6 seconds, because why not, right? Why not? Furthermore, if they're enemies inflicted with Mark of Enmity, so with her ultimate, she can just attack anybody with her basic attack and piercing precision, right? Her basic attack and piercing precision have infinite range during her ultimate or during her penetrating vision. So she's basically a Silas with some extra benefits. I can see 2 benefits right here, but overall she seems very exciting. She seems very strong. Her name is Lady Alexandra. She never really was a Sanja. It was always clear that the developer said her name and or lore are also always in the working. Yeah, out of all the characters we've tested, she seems to be the obvious when it comes to power level. Like she's a bonded Silas. Holy moly. And don't forget the fact that she's dual faction also with Prey Tussie. So yeah, though I do not know how her Spirit Siphon gets influenced by piercing precision. It kind of feels like she may need a dedicated artifact. Maybe we'll have to go with the Bloodborne Signet, because reducing her max HP isn't really as bad if she doesn't take as much damage from all sources. So that's something that remains to be seen. Though overall, she has a really nice kit, really nice design. And yeah, I'm surprised. Peace!